Hello, my name is Sarah. Welcome to the It's a Sarah podcast. Today it is Monday, March 6, 2023, and this is episode 59. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I make episodes every Monday and Friday now. That's quite new since last week. I'm doing twice a week. I'm doing episodes twice a week because I made daily episodes whole February, and now I'm quite addicted to making episodes, I guess. It's so fun to share I love to share my handwerkperikelen. That's a Dutch word for crafty adventures with you. And one episode a week isn't enough for sharing all. I also love a little bit shorter episodes, and I'm not a very talented shorter episode maker. I always talk too much, too long. But when I make when I make them twice a week, maybe they will be a little bit shorter. So that's nice. I think I promised you last Friday a little introduction, and I think that's especially today a good idea because it's quite busy on my YouTube channel, and I need to thank Jonna for it. Jonna from the Knit Together with Kim and Jonna podcast. Last week she sent me a message on Instagram and she told me she was enjoying my podcast. She was really loving it, and she shared it in their latest episode, and she sent me the link. I did watch their episode, so I already knew Kim and Jonna, but she sent me the link, and I didn't have the time to watch the whole episode, but of course I was a bit curious. What was he telling about me? And I was really flabbergasted. I was listening to all the love, see all the nice words she said about me, and I almost thought, oh, that really sounds like a nice podcast. Should I search for it on YouTube? It was as if she wasn't talking about me. I sound as such a nice lady, so I am a nice lady, but it was quite fun. And after that, I saw a lot of new people, a lot of new lovely people here on my YouTube channel. So thank you, Jonna, and welcome all the new people. It's really special for me. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English, and I have been, especially in the beginning, very, 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 very insecure about my English. Now, you let me know every time that it's absolutely okay, so I will not complain about it. But the first episodes were really heavy to make for me because I was so annoyed by by not having the skills to make an episode in English, but I just wanted to feel connected with all the knitters in all the world, and I did make episodes in Dutch for years, and I really love it because the Dutch knitters and the Dutch crocheters are such lovely people, but I want to feel that with all the other people in the world, and the most people in the world don't understand Dutch. So I thought, let's do it in English. And it was quite a journey for me, but I can say with all my heart right now that I really am enjoying making episodes in English, and I was really hard to myself when I made mistakes, but you are so helpful, and it's so lovely and nice to read all the comments. I'm learning so much from you, and you are giving me so much confidence, so I really am a happy English-speaking person now. And it was when I always read all the comments, so I already knew there were a lot of English-speaking people enjoying my podcast, but also listening to someone who was so enthusiast. In Dutch we say enthusiast about me. It made me feel really proud. So thank you, Jonna, and thank you all the new people. I was quite amazed what was happening, but I hope you will enjoy it. I do love to share my handwerkperikelen, all my crafty adventures, the things I make, but all the knitting and crochet related stuff. But I promised you a little extra introduction. It was my plan to do it last Friday, but I totally forgot because in the middle of my introduction I start telling about knitting and then I'm lost. But a little bit about, I only share about my knitting and crochet life, but maybe it's nice to hear how my other life is. My life is quite calm and simple at the moment. I live in the Netherlands. We live in a small town. I live here with my husband. I am married with a wonderful, lovely husband, which is really creating a lot of knitting time for me. So I'm very thankful to him. And we have 3 children together. Our children are teenagers. We have a boy, he's 18-year-old, a girl, a 16-year-old girl, and a 13-year-old girl. Yeah, when you have teenagers, it's so different than as the time then. That's not. When they were little, it was quite hard work when they were little. It was also quite fun and nice, but now they are teenagers and I have a lot of knitting time because the most I do with them, I can do knitting and crocheting. So that's really nice. My life was much more busy when they were little because in those years I was working as a teacher on a primary school, and later I also worked a few years as a handwork teacher, a crafting teacher at the Waldorf school my kids were going. And I really loved the kids, but being the nice and lovely teacher I was taking too much energy of me, and I couldn't be the teacher and the lovely mother and the lovely wife, and then also for my family and my friends, it was way too much. So 2 years ago I quit that job, and I didn't really knew what I would do. It was not that I wouldn't work, that I like to work, but I had no idea what to do. And then I thought, can knitting be my work? So I just knit and talk, and I have all week for knitting and connecting and creating, and yeah, I really love it. It's so much fun. I really love to connect with the Dutch knitting community. I say knitting, but when I say knitting, I mean knitting and crochet. But it sounds knitting and crochet all the time. It's too much words. But also in real life we are connecting. The Netherlands, we don't have a big country, so you can connect quite easily, and also online, and it's very, very fun. And I really love to connect with all the world now. It feels so special, and I don't have the time, I don't make the time to reply all the comments, but I read every one of them, and thank you for that. It really makes me happy. I have such good advice, and all the words you learn me. I read everything, but when I would reply everything, I don't have. It's all my knitting time I would spend on it, and I know you understand that I prefer knitting or crochet. We all do. So okay, today, let's talk about what I'm wearing at first. Did I? Here we go again. Did I do enough introduction? I guess. Oh, we also have a dog. I don't share my children and my husband in my podcast. They are for myself. I only share my knitting and crochet life and a little bit of the dog because we walk a lot in the woods and in the forest, and she's with me, and so she's very sweet. She's sleeping there. She's tired from our morning walk. But let's go to the knitting, because that's why we're here, for the knitting. What I'm wearing, it's quite although it is March, it is the month in which we hope for spring, but it's quite cold, and it will stay cold for this week, I've heard, and I'm actually quite happy because I can wear all my warm sweaters and cardigans still a little bit longer, because I'm looking forward to spring, but I'm really an autumn and winter person because of all the knits, I guess. I don't know. I don't love to be very warm. I don't love warm weather. So I'm very happy I can wear them all. And today I am wearing one of my my second colorwork cardigan. It is a pattern called Oh Those Pops of Pink. Only I have pops of orange. And I knit it several years ago, and it's actually a bit too tight. I wasn't good. It was my second colorwork. It's actually a sweater, but I planned it as a steek. Because I prefer cardigans. I don't love high neckline sweaters. And I didn't know that I need to knit my colorwork on a bigger needle. So this is all a bit too tight, and this is too tight. And also the size picking didn't work out because I definitely needed a bigger size, but I had no idea what I was doing. But I'm very proud with the steek. I don't know if you can see it. I love this neat finishing of the steek. The steek sandwich at the inside with an I-cord bind off, and it really because I love to wear my cardigans open. It's not. I don't like ugly backsides or ugly insides. I don't like them. And when it's now so, I don't mind because it's pretty. You can also do it with a ribbon. I never did, but yeah, I just love it. I learned my steeking from a Dutch knitter, and I shared my how to. There are several ways to steek. I do it with my sewing machine, the reinforce with my sewing machine, and then I hide the cut side in the steek sandwich. And the steps how I steek you can find on my Instagram account in a highlight, but I think I commented in Dutch. I use my Instagram in Dutch, but as there are so many new English speaking followers, I try to do a little bit more English on my Instagram. But I know there is a Dutch knitter. Her name is Marleen, and she made a tutorial. I guess she uses the same way as I do, and she also made a tutorial in English, I guess. So if it's correct, I will link it down below, and I'm a bit afraid I will forget because I don't have anything to note it. So if I forget, leave a comment and I will add it afterwards. So, okay, and I'm also wearing, this is called Spencer Penelope, and I know Spencer is not a word you use in English. In English you say vest, but we call a cardigan a vest in Dutch, so it's a bit confusing now and then. So when you hear me say Spencer, it's because we call it that way. This is a design from a Dutch knitter, and I knitted in superwash merino. It's not my favorite, but I have non-superwash yarn ready to go for 2 years, waiting for another version, another black version, because it's really a nice piece in my knitted wardrobe. I really love it as an extra layer when it's cold. Or only when it's not when I don't need a cardigan anymore on my skirts or on my dresses. So it's really nice to have a good one also. So when I finished my cardigan, I will tell you in a minute which cardigan I'm knitting. I will cast on this one. I really want it, but there are so many opportunities, so many possibilities to cast on, and yeah, it's hard to choose because we want them all. Okay, and I'm wearing my headband. Maybe I should tell that in my introduction. I always wear a headband. My favorite color is brown. I can't stop talking. Is there another thing that you need to know about me? I feel a deep love for granny squares. As you can see, they are everywhere in our house. Our house we love old stuff. We all second-handed. We don't own a lot of new things. I guess then you know all about me. what you need to know. Oh yeah, my headband, it's the braided cabled ear warmer. I think I knitted it in a lighter weight, so mine isn't as wide as the ear warmer should be. And I will link all down below. You can find it on my Ravelry page, but I will try to make separate links for you. Okay, let's start the tale. Yesterday I did some stitch marker organizing. I have a very lovely tin. All over the place, everywhere in every room I have a little, I think you say tin, we call it blikje, filled with stitch markers, but they were all quite messy, and I'm not really a pretty stitch marker lover. My heart can jump when I see a beautiful stitch marker, but it's not a big part of my knitting happiness. Do you know what I mean? I'm more a practical stitch marker user, but I owned a lot pretty stitch markers for someone who isn't loving pretty stitch markers. It sounds quite not nice saying that, but it is what it is. I'm really a big fan of those light bulb stitch markers. I use them all the time, and also the little rings I use all the time for the beginning of rounds, or when you are knitting color work to divide your stitches in several parts, so as the chart of your color work says, so you don't have to count every time. I really love them, but I don't want all the stitch markers in all the bright colors. I have a few colors, and now I have. Oh, my dog is awake. She is there. When you hear weird sounds, it's my dog. Huh? I think she wants a bit of attention in a minute. But I have this, I don't know how you call it in English. We call it een veiligheidsspeld, een safety pin. No, I don't know. Safety needle. I think it's when they were used for baby diapers, and to close them, the fabric diapers. Long time ago. But these are the stitch markers I want to keep. Some with some gemstones and some handmade. They were given to me. Hey, kom je even kijken? Kom je even kijken? Kom maar. Hè? Here's my dog. I think you can't see her now. She's very sweet. So those I want to keep. They are nice for the use as a progress keeper, but I often don't think they are very functional. But there are enough stitch marker lovers, so I put them together in a little bag, and then I can give them as a gift or whatever. My daughter also picked quite some for her. I don't know. She doesn't knit. I hope she will soon. She can knit. All my children can knit. Now my son, I don't know. He's a talented knitter, but the girls can knit. I hope they will pick it up once. My daughter is knitting a sweater for her boyfriend, but she was enjoying it. But then her gauge was quite tight. She's a tight knitter, and the sweater was getting too tight, and then she lost motivation. And I can understand it, but. We shall see. Okay, let's talk about my knit. I'm knitting a test knit for Rebecca from the Creabea podcast. It was actually my plan to not collect new patterns in 2023. It was not about the buying. Yeah, I'm talking English. Can you understand English? You are a Dutch dog. Can you understand English? Huh? Maybe she can. You're a very smart dog. Huh? Liefie. I did collect quite some patterns and yarn, and it was always nice to collect it, but I felt at the end of last year that it wasn't only feeling nice to have all those things. It was also bothering me that I was collecting so much more than I could actually make. So all those nice patterns were not knitted, and all those nice yarn weren't used. And for a long time that was no problem, but suddenly it didn't felt right anymore. So I thought, let's don't buy any new yarn or any new patterns in 2023. But not only buying, also collecting in another way. But it isn't, no, we are not. See, you do that on your own place. It was her plan to do a nice wash, a refreshing wash, but the sounds of a refreshing dog wash are not the sounds I want as background sound for my podcast. You can do that somewhere else. Kom maar, ga maar plaats. I will send her to her basket. No, it's not a basket. Kom. Goed zo, ga maar lekker liggen. She's not sleeping in a basket. Do you call it a bench? A bench is more a thing with a door you can close for the dog. The Dutch word for her place is the same as the word, this is a basket and dit is een mand, and the dog is also sleeping in a mand. But I don't think the English words are the same. You have a basket for your knitting and you have a basket for your dog, but it isn't really a basket. I don't know what the word is, but she's now there and she can wash herself there. It's a bit further away, so you don't hear. Okay, so it is not working really out, my not collecting new patterns, because I already received 2 patterns as a gift from lovely viewers, and it was really a nice surprise. It was meant as a thank you for all the February episodes, and it really both nice patterns. So they are in my collection right now, and I'm very happy to have them. So that's nice. And I also replied for a test knit, and that was not what I was going to do, because I'm not really a good test knitter. My main goal for doing a test knit is receiving the pattern more earlier, so I can have it sooner, instead that I have to wait when the pattern is coming out. But when I saw the Corran cardigan, Rebecca's newest cardigan, on her Instagram, and she was showing it, and she did da 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 da, and I thought, I need that cardigan in my wardrobe. So I immediately replied, and after that I thought, oh, what did I do? So I sent Rebecca a message, so, oh, it's okay when you don't pick me because, but she didn't read it, or she ignored it because she picked me. And I'm very happy, I'm very happy. So the Corran cardigan is an all over lace pattern, and it's very airy and nice. It's really a summer cardigan, and she had several options for, she had a V neckline or a round neckline, and short sleeves or longer sleeves, and you could choose which option you would like to test. And I replied for the V neckline and the short sleeves. Because I had quite some cotton in my yarn stash, and I thought, oh, that would be a lovely piece to wear over my, I really wear tank tops often in summer, but they are quite, don't say it. I remember I struggled with it last summer. They are quite naked, but naked is not a good word. When you're only wearing, I always wear those I guess you say camisoles, those camisoles, but there's quite a bit of skin you can see. Your arms are, yeah, in Dutch we say bloot. Het is een beetje bloot. But is it revealed? That you are quite revealed? Is that how you say it? I have to go down in my memory. I don't know, but it's nice to have a layer when you don't want to be so revealed, so naked. Naked is not good. Naked is too much. I'm not naked. That's weird. Just to put it over, or when it's a little bit cold, just to put it over. So that was my plan, to make a cotton version, but it isn't a cotton version because I did quite some swatches, but the yarn I didn't love the look of it in this stitch pattern, and I also didn't get gauge. But I have quite an amount of other yarns, as you maybe have seen in my February episodes. I reorganized it then, and I found this one in my stash. It is Borgo de Pazzi Clara. It's an Italian brand. It's quite, if I remember it correctly, quite a sustainable brand. Sustainability is quite important to them, so I guess it's not on the label, but I guess this is a good yarn. I don't know. It was gifted to me, I think it was in 2016, quite some years ago. I had a kind of a yarn party organized by 3 lovely Dutch ladies, and they received quite some yarn to give away to all the visitors, and I received this brown colorway and also a blue one. And then I changed with another lady. She wanted a blue one and I really wanted a brown one. Brown is absolutely my favorite color. And it's quite a special yarn. It is a cotton thread, and around that thread there is some brown wool. So it is 65% wool and 35% cotton, and I can show you how the yarn is. This is not how it's meant to be. Let me tell that in a minute. But you can see it's an undyed cotton yarn, quite white, and around the thread of cotton is all those unspun wool. And it gives quite a nice effect. It's quite nice. But I think, I'm not quite sure, but I think this is the work of my mats. I have mats in my house, and this yarn was laying in my at the shelves of my closet. I'm always struggling with that word. Of my closet, and then I discovered I had mats, and you can say a lot about mats, but they do have a good taste because they hardly touch my superwash yarns, and they really love the non-superwash yarns, and I totally agree with them. But it would be easier when we don't have the same taste. So I'm thinking this is the work of them. They enjoyed the wool. They didn't like the cotton, but they did love the wool. So I'm not sure how the rest of my yarn ball is. But after that, I put it all in the freezer and in plastic. So I have no idea if this is mud damage, and if it is, how much the rest of the yarn is damaged. But we will see. Sometimes there was a little bit of this happening, and that was not a really problem, but these were quite big parts, so I have to cut it out because I didn't like to have the white stitch obviously in my knitting. So it's quite a special yarn. I did crochet a cardigan from it really a few years ago, also in 2016 I guess, but it was really pilling. It was pilling a lot, and I didn't own a D-pillar right then, and I brought my cardigan to the thrift shop, and it was absolutely one of my favorite cardigans. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know, but it wasn't really looking good. So I'm a bit afraid how the yarn will be after wearing and blocking, if it will be very pilly. And I'm also not knowing if it's the good yarn choice for this cardigan because it's wool, and I don't know if I like to wear it on my skin when it's hot. When it's hot, I think non-superwash yarn can be a bit itchy. I don't mind itchiness, but only when I'm hot, when I'm feeling warm, and when I'm feeling a bit sweaty, then I think wool is itchy. But I decided I love the pattern. I will show you in a minute. But I love the stitch pattern in this yarn, and I love the colorway. And I decided just to knit the short sleeved version as I replied for, and just see how it wears. And if I don't like it, I can always rip out the ribbing for the arms and knit longer sleeves. And then in this time of the year, it's perfect with a long sleeved t-shirt under it. I always wear long sleeve t-shirts, so maybe it's also okay, I don't know, with short sleeves and a black long sleeve t-shirt under it. I don't know, we shall see. But for now, I am enjoying this knit really much. Although yesterday I discovered a mistake, so that was quite frustrating. I will show you. There are a lot of needles. There's a lot of going on in my knitting right now. But it's absolutely a joyful pattern. It's knitted top down, no, bottom up. I'm holding it ondersteboven, we say in Dutch. It is knitted bottom up, and the stitch pattern is really lovely. It is really repetitive, and it asks for my attention. But not in a hard way, just in a relaxed way. It's just as much attention that I keep my eyes on it and my focus on it, but it's not that that it has to be quiet all around me. You know, sometimes you have a knitting pattern and don't talk to me, and I can only knit on it when I'm home alone or when I'm upstairs. Don't disturb me, don't talk to me, because I don't know where I am right now. And I must say, it happened more often when I was a beginner knitter. Now I have some experience through the years. It don't happen as much as then. It doesn't happen as much as then, but still, you know that feeling. I'm counting, don't disturb me. So I had to knit the first front panel and do the decreases on the way, and I did that also when I was alone, because I need all my attention. But the stitch pattern is nice, but I made a mistake. I discovered a mistake. Yesterday I knitted the left front panel, and then it was time for the back, and when I wanted to knit that, I discovered a mistake. Maybe you can see it. I don't know if you can see it right, but there I have two holes above each other, and they don't, this one belongs there. So that's not right, but there is a little problem. I made the mistake just before I split for the sleeves and knit the front panel. So it's not that I can rip it back and fix it. I need to drop the stitches and fix it, and I think that won't be a problem, because it's not a hard stitch pattern. But when I discovered it, it was almost time to go to bed, and I learned through the years that just before you go to bed is not the right moment to fix difficult mistakes in your knitting. I've tried. I've had those experiences, and they weren't successful most of the time. So I felt very good that I put my knitting away and told myself, okay, you will do it tomorrow when you're fresh and when you have the time and there's no distraction and you're not tired and you can do some nice and easy I think I made granny squares just for 30 minutes and then I went to bed. So I feel very proud and very smart person when I do that, and not because leaving a mistake in your work and then going to bed is quite a thing. You understand me. You don't want to go to bed with mistakes in your work. You want to solve them before you going to sleep. So it's, I feel quite proud that it works out that way. But I still have to do it. And I'm a bit afraid I only have time this evening. So we have the same problem. So maybe I should save it for tomorrow, because tomorrow I have quite some knitting time. So, but it's really a fun pattern. It's really lovely, and the test knit is running. So I think the deadline is the beginning of April. So I think the pattern will come out in April. I don't know, but it's really a nice summer thing for in your summer wardrobe. And I really like the different options with a round neck, with a V-neck, short sleeves, long sleeves. I see me making another one, definitely, absolutely. So I am enjoying that one. This is my knitting book. I don't know if you have a knitting book, but it's one of my most loveliest things otherwise than my yarn and my knits. It's actually a knitting diary, and I have, let me take them. I have 3. Look at this. Oh, I want to make a diary all my life, but it never worked out. I always, as a child, I started and I did it 3 weeks and then I gave up. And also as a grown-up, there was a time when everybody did that, how do you call it? Bullet journaling and the journaling, and it didn't work out for me. It didn't work out. But a few years ago, I received as a gift, a Christmas gift from my youngest girl, this book. This is you can buy it in store, and it's just this wooden. In Dutch we say kurk. I don't know the English word. You also have it on the top of a wine bottle. That thing, kurk. And it's all empty pages, no lines, no dots. I love it. It was a gift from my youngest girl, and she bought it from her own money, and that was for me was really the reason to make it successful, because every time when I thought, oh, I don't like it, it's not looking nice, I need a new book, and it was also always my perfectionism bothering me. But I don't want my daughter my perfectionism. I love my perfectionism, but not always. It has to work for me and not against me. And with the notebooks, it was absolutely working against me, and that was not a way of using your perfectionism I want to teach my daughter. So that was exactly the motivation I needed to make it successful. So I made several craft books, and they are far from perfect. They are messy, and I read down, and I draw lines, and I put all my things in it, and all the pictures and the yarn, and they aren't beautiful, they aren't perfect, but because actually they are really beautiful, but not because all is straight. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, it's just. Oh, let me see. I think. Oh, that's nice. Or not. Maybe I can find the page of my. Oh no. Oh, I thought I saw the page of my cardigan I'm wearing now. Oh. No. I'm quite sure I saw it. It's so nice. It's really like a diary. You can't see it, so that's not you. Can't enjoy it with me. No, it's not. But it's really, really. Oh yes. Here it is. Oh, those pops of pink. I made it in January 2020. So I finished it on 12 February 2020. So here I put some yarn, the colors and the labels and some pictures. And here, yeah, I think here's the chart. So it's not, I have to put my hand on it. But all the pictures and all my notes and all, yeah, so nice. And I wrote down all the things I did. And it's really nice. So I have 3 of these books now. My third one is almost, it's the second one, I guess. Yeah, it's almost full, and then I can make a new one. But let me show you my page of my Corran cardigan. These are the socks for my mother-in-law. I finished last week. I put a little bit of yarn in it, and I'm not a drawer. You can see I can better knit than draw, but still I love it. I like it. So this is my Granny Squares page, and now here is my yeah, this is also part of the pattern. But here is my Corran cardigan page. I can't show it right because it's part of the pattern, but let me show you. Yeah, when I make something, I always write down above what I make. Then I write down start, the date I started the project, the date I finished it, for who it is, the size, the needle sizes I use, the yarn I use, and then here I write down how I do it. It's actually the same as a Ravelry project page, but then physical. I can hold it in my hand. So. I really hope that when later, when I'm an old lady, or maybe when there are so many years passed by, I am not here anymore. I have my children and grandchildren, if I get them, and these are the knitting books of Granny Sarah. and all her notes and all the things she knew about knitting are in this, and we could use them. We can use them. I hope they will last so long. But for now, I'm enjoying it, and I absolutely pick it up now and then. I also wrote down techniques because when I learned the I-cord binder for knitting buttonholes, I write down, or the Kitchener stitch, I write it down in my book because when the internet is gone, I'm also gone. I'm never. I don't know anything without the internet, so I also want it into my book so I can kind of look it through. Okay, I've more to tell, more to share. 2 things. Which one shall I start? Let's start with this one, this wonderful bag. I found it this morning. This is really an old crochet bag, but I made it myself and I'm so proud of it. I totally forgot, but I was decluttering a part of the house, and there was a big bag full of little bags, and this one was in it. I made it for my daughter when she turned 8. I think it's 8 years ago now. And there was a Dutch crocheter, and she made this bag, this swan bag. The swan was the favorite animal of my daughter, and I saw it on her Instagram and I really loved it. And she would write a pattern of it, but I was too impatient. I think she never made that pattern, I'm not quite sure, but I made it without a pattern, and I was so proud because I absolutely am not a talented animal crocheter. You have I think you call it stuffed animals. And I can do the basic work, but always the finishing touch is destroying my work because it's so hard to put the eyes at the right place or the ears, and I hate it. I'm not. It's not my talent. But this one is. I really I don't know how you call it. In Dutch we say hengsel, but I don't know. The strand? No. Of your bag? No, I don't know. This thing is also the neck of the swan, and it's going into the right shape for her head, and then yeah, it's so perfect. So I really was proud on it, and she was very happy with it, and she used it a lot, but now she doesn't anymore. And I thought it doesn't deserve to be in a bag of sacks, in a sack of bags, in a bag of bags. So I put it out and filled it. At first I want to hang it at a place in our house, but I couldn't find it, and it didn't look nice. So then I filled it with some thrifted cotton for the body, and now it's like a basket. So I put it in my at my desk, at my yarn desk, and I really think it's nice and cozy to have this little swan lady next to me. Oh, it's so fun. So it was a nice surprise this morning. Another nice surprise is here. I want to share this with you. It's actually quite a Dutch initiative, a Dutch idea from a Dutch knitting friend. She I received in the mail this lovely box. It's a thrifted box and it is painted by my knitting friend. Her name is Truida. Oh, that's really nice. I have to explain that to you. The Dutch word for sweater is trui. And my friend's name is Truida. It is quite an old Dutch name. You don't hear it often right now anymore, but Truida is a very old name, old Dutch name. And actually you can say her name is Sweatery. See, her name is Sweatery. And when you are a knitter and your name is Trui, that is so perfect. I also want to be called Trui. Truida is such a nice name for a knitter. And I think sweater as a name in English doesn't sound as cute as trui in Dutch, but I really am kind of jealous on her name. I mean, I really love my own name. It's perfect. Sarah, in Dutch we say Sarah, but Truida is fantastic. But Truida is my knitting friend. And she made this lovely box with a little van. I also want to have such a van. We have a very old caravan. I think you call it mobile home in English. But this is really fun. And it's a little laundry line with knitted socks on it. And here is a hashtag. And it's called Rondreizend sokkenwolwinkeltje. And that means traveling little sock yarn shop. And this is a traveling little sock yarn shop. So you could send her little mini skeins, 10-gram mini skeins in all the colors. And then your name is on the list and you will receive this little sock yarn shop. And it is you can... I've made a little video for you. I will add it here or at the end of the video, but it is filled with little mini skeins. And you can change them. So you put something out and then you have to put something from your own stash in. And then you will send it to another lady, to the next one. So I have chosen 4 lovely mini skeins and I will add 4 of from my own stash and I will give it to the next one. And there's also a little book in it and a notebook, and it's filled with such nice, lovely and inspiring words and little pattern ideas and little patterns. Truida herself, she made a little tiny scrappy sock. I already received one from her. It's in our bedroom. Maybe you have seen it hanging there above my desk. And now I see a little yarn end here. I don't like that. Now I made one myself, and I'm not a talented tiny knitter, tiny things knitter. I'm too impatient for it, so it was also a bit frustrating, especially because I made a little scrappy sock and I changed color every second round. Also my heel, it's a shadow wrap shorter heel. It looks a bit weird, so maybe when I will make another one. I will make it a little less deep, but it's such nice to have. And now I want a little sock laundry line in my I have a space on my yarn desk, and I want a little line there with all those tiny socks hanging there. So I am making another one, and it was so fun to make a scrappy sock again. I really love making scrappy socks, but I didn't do it for quite a while. And I actually have... Oh no, let me tell you that in a moment. I want to tell you all at the same time. I have to choose what to tell first. Now I have a big basket with all those little nice mini skeins received from lovely people at lovely days. And they are really symbolizing the connection in the Dutch knitting community for me. So that's so nice, because all those nice memory, I think online contact is very nice and inspiring, but when you can also meet the people in real life, it's extra special. So I really want to make scrappy socks as a memory of all those nice meetings. And it's also the idea from Truida. with this traveling little traveling sock yarn shop, to feel the connection when you have this at your home, and especially by reading all the nice stories in the little notebook, you feel connected with a physical thing, not only on a screen but with a physical thing. So it's really nice. It's such a lovely idea, and it really makes me happy. So I picked 4 lovely colors, and I will add them in my scrappy socks. And how much fun is it when you are knitting socks and when you are finished, you make a little one with the scraps, if you have scraps left. You have all tiny mini socks as a memory of the big socks. How much fun is that? Yeah, I really love it. So I was enjoying that, although the tiny knitting also makes me a little bit frustrated. Okay, I think I told you everything I want to do. I want to talk about. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I will do some nice knitting the coming days, and I hope you have quite some knitting or crochet time too, and you have a very nice week, and I will see you on Friday. Bye bye! Hello, I want to give you a little sneak peek in this little travel sock yarn shop, because it's so nice. This notebook is such a lovely notebook. It's filled with lovely words and inspiration from other Dutch crafters. This is a little egg warmer, and one of the ladies shared the pattern of that egg warmer in this notebook. There's a tiny little scrappy sock. Oh, it's such a lovely thing. So as you can see, there are all the lovely words and drawings and inspiration, and even yarn and pictures and patterns, and yeah, it's really fun. And at the last page there is the pattern for the little tiny scrappy sock. And there is the box. Oh, you can see the inside now. At the left you see 2 cozy chairs, and there is feel connected, the words there under. Oh, Sarah, what are you doing? You put all those yarn. I would tell something about the picture. I would love to sit at those cozy chairs with somebody to knit. But here you see all the lovely mini skeins other people put in this box, and I'm allowed to pick a few from the box and then put an equal number back. And I'm searching a bit, and I already have seen one I really need to have in my yarn stash. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Do you see it? Oh, don't put it back, Sarah. The brown. You want it. Oh, these 2 I also love. Just pick one. Leave one for another. Yeah. Oh, I really love those. I had another one. Where is it? Oh, there. Yeah, this bright orangey pink is also staying with me. Oh, I would love to have a pair of socks in this color combination. Really fun. Now, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will make scrappy socks quite soon. Bye bye!